Good morning. This is Lady Charlotte coming to you from beautiful Buda, Texas. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different than you've ever seen me do. Uh, I'm going to be doing something on my little tiny wheel. Now, this little tiny wheel is pretty. It's got all this wonderful uh, decorations on it. It's just beautiful. But underneath, there is an actual potter's wheel. Now, this is an off-on switch over here. It turns it off. And you flip it up to turn it on. Now down here where it plugs in, there's a control, a speed control, and you can set it for however fast or slow you want it to go. I've got it set for about a medium speed, just so I can work it. There is, I got a little water here and a little sponge, and then we have our little balls of clay. And these are not, going to be any different than a regular ball. We put the ball on, and this one's a little easier to center, though, because you've got a line in there where you can put it in pretty easy. And I'm pushing it down so that it sticks to the little wheel. Okay? And then we're going to flip it up and let the wheel go. Now, using my hands, especially with the gloves on, not going to get me much of anything. So what I'm going to do, I've got these little plastic tools that actually came with the little potter's wheel. So I'm going to use them, making a come on. This first piece that I'm making on here, I'm going to make a chawan, a teensy tiny chawan. Now I get my thing in there. Well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm making a plate. No, I'm going to make a chawan. But sometimes if you're not really careful with what you're doing here, this, it can go out of shape in a hurry. Now, what a chawan is basically a cup without a handle. I'll do that. Don't want to get too much moisture on these things because you've only got this teeny tiny ball of clay. And if you moisten it up too much, it's going to just disappear on you. The ball of clay, that is. Okay. I'm going to turn him off now. Oh dear. We definitely need work on that rim, don't we? Put him back on. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now we're going to cut this one off the wheel. And some of what you do here is done in the trimming process, which is a whole lot like, you know, your regular porcelain. You're doing most of it. A lot of the shaping and everything is done during your trimming process. Now I'm just going to try and slide this little booger off. And so we can do another one. Okay, we're going to just set him right over here. Right there. Okay. I'm going to clean off our wheel a little bit. We don't like to have a dirty wheel when we're doing things like this. Okay, wheel is clean. We're going to start out with another ball. Now, to give you an idea of the size of these things, let me see, what do I have that's sizable to show you? Okay. This is the little thing that goes in my, it's a little plug that goes in my sink. It's quite small itself. But we're going to put it down beside this, beside the Chawan, and see if you can tell the difference in the size. gives you an indication anyhow. Okay, here's this smush down in there, and we're going to do the centering process again. And to do the centering, I'm going to add a little bit of water here. Now, I'm going to make up my mind what it is that I want to make this time. I think this time I actually do want to make a cup with some handles. Now I'm opening this up. Okay, I've got the floor of my cup about as big as I want it. Okay, so any further shaping is going to be done on the outside. I'm going to get a little water on my sponge so I can get a little water on my piece. This is really fun to do. You see I'm starting to do my process, and when I do, I start, that didn't work out so good. make sure my tools are clean. Because if they're not, clean when I put them up there, it's just going to make this is not working out real well at all. What I'm trying to do here is to pull up a wall. But instead I just seem to be making a mess. Oh well. It's only porcelain. One rather good thing about these little pieces is that they don't take long to dry. They can get to leather hard in a whole big hurry. So you have to kind of leave that in your mind. Now let's see how that's looking. Okay, it's not looking too bad. I'm going to do a little more on the outside though. See if I can raise that rim up just a tiny bit. Okay. Now I have a habit, because I've thrown on the potter's wheel for so long, I'm trying to put my hands in there. And I have to explain to you that hands just don't work in doing this. I'm kind of testing out these tools to see which one's going to work best for what I'm trying to do. And this is going to be just a small coffee cup. It's going to have a handle. Turn this off, see if it... Okay, that rim is not too bad. I'm going to leave that alone. And we're going to slice him off there. Okay. I'm going to take this tool and see, can we remove him from the base without too much distortion. And once again, as with the other one, I'm trying to get it back into the round on my finger. A lot of the things will be done on the in the trimming process. And I'm going to do one more. Get off my wheel first. I try to get these things to turn loose on my gloves. I guess I really shouldn't be wearing the gloves out here today to do this, but as you might not know, that there's a bandage underneath on that finger. I didn't want to just leave it. Huh. Interesting. Huh. There's a, this is something I just found out. If you push the button down too far, you will get a wheel that's going in the opposite direction. So for those potters that want to do clockwise direction, it's already there for you. Okay, I'm going to spin this up. See, can we... Picking up some different tools to see how they work. I would never in my life have bought plastic tools. These came with the little wheel, and I started using them because that's what came with the little wheel. And what do we do here? Okay, I am going to attempt a teapot. I'm trying to belly him out a little bit because that's what we have in a teapot. It's something that's bellied out. And I'm going to turn the wheel over. Once I started using these tools, I had a whole lot more respect for them. You use them with a very delicate touch, you know, but they are just so rewarding. Filling up our sides of our teapot here. And I'm working on getting bellying it out again. Pull up the sides. And as you can tell, I'm going inwards once I get up there. Pushing the clay towards the center. Oh, that didn't work too good. Sometimes if you're not careful, things will happen that you didn't want to happen. Now what happened with this one is this tool is dirty now. It's got clay on it. And I wasn't taking the time to clean it off. And because of that, I got it twirling around where I didn't want it twirling around. Oh yeah, that's pretty ragged in there. So, we have more work to do. Okay. That's really ragged. Okay. Well, considering all the clay that I have taken off of this in this process, I am going to turn this failed teapot into a plate. Okay, that's better. I'll soften up those edges a little bit. Let's see what we got going here. Okay. We still got a lump in there that's going to have to come out. Well, that pretty well does it. Just have to keep it going. cleaned that up pretty good. Let's go in here in the center here. Okay, that's going to work pretty good right there. So now we have to do the taking it on and off again thing. And for a plate, that's not going to be too easy. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to turn the wheel back on. It's just really thin. The plate is so thin. I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything with it after it gets to, let's put it over here. We can dry out a little bit. It's not only thin, but it's got too much water in it from cleaning it up and what have you. Well, that's kind of what I've been doing, making the little bowls and the coffee cup and the plate. And I think that's enough for this day. I'll make a couple of little handles for you. Not on the little wheel, we're going to put them over here. But we got one little ball here. And we're going to roll them out. See how thin we can make these little guys. I'm trying to roll them out pretty thin because that coffee cup's not very big. So it's not going to take a whole lot of the coil to make its cup. Okay, we got quite a bit there, and I think this is probably going to be plenty for a cup. And we'll just stick the rest of this back into a little ball. Stick him over here. Now I'm going to take the coffee to the handle. And we're going to try and form it around. Problem is the gloves, the clay kind of sticks to them. So doing something so delicate with them on is not the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to take the glove off this one hand while I'm trying to get this handle shaped. I think that'll do it. I'm sticking over here so they can get up to leather hard. I'm going to take these little balls and put them in with the little balls over here that are for decoration on pieces. These I've got in a little bowl. And here I got just a slice of clay that I sized off. That big one can be used for just about anything. Put it there. And I'll put my glove back on. Because I may be doing some glazing here in a little bit. Take that away. And I will say goodbye for a while, and I'll see you at the next video.